friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree Buonomo. And today I'm gonna start a new vlog because we are starting a new project. It is kind of crazy. I haven't been writing any new novels in the past 2 years because I have been focused so much on vampire and getting that career ready. So I am starting to write something new, which is I'm just so excited, but I'm also like, can I write still? Is this something I have the capability of doing? Because we are going to be doing a ambitious project, I should say. Not that it's impossible, but it's ambitious because it's the first time I'm going to be playing with the different variations of novel writing. In this case, I'm going to be using mixed media components, which is not something I've done before. So my next work in progress is going to be a reality TV show meets a haunted house concept where these contestants are put into a house, kind of like the Real World meets Fear Factor, where they are going to be doing these challenges, but the premise is that like they know it's a haunted house, supposedly. Like there have been deaths in the house like throughout the history, and it's been kind of abandoned because nobody wants to actually buy it. And then this, in the height of reality TV, 2004, these producers get the concept of like, oh, let's do like a play on this reality show. Kind of like House on Haunted Hill, if you guys have ever seen that movie. Similarly, but like everyone thinks it's kind of fake. Like they think it's just like these just dire accidents that have happened and it's nothing like actually supernatural, but it might be. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing around with this idea, and I want to do like the mixed media elements of like newspaper clippings on like the histories of the death. I want to start the book with like the intro to the reality show. So like if you were gonna watch like the commercial for the Real World, like what would the voiceover say, like to entice you to come in? Like that's how I want to open the book, is with that voiceover of like, these 20 individuals are all gonna compete for the grand prize of blah blah blah. Like that's what I want to open the book with. And then throughout the book, the mixed media parts are hopefully gonna like give you more information on like the history of the house, as well as maybe the history of the contestants, like what they're all there for. So yeah, I named my main character, and I'm not going to say anything yet about my main character's name because that could be a twist. I am going to be doing some research today. So my preamble is that we're going to start on the basis of like, I need to do some research. It's been a long time since I've really watched a lot of reality TV. I used to love it when I was like a teenager. The most recent thing I had watched was Temptation Island, which was on Netflix, and I enjoyed that. And so I kind of want to go back, and since I'm basing this in 2004, I really want to watch like the Real World in 2004, which I think was Philadelphia. I want to watch some Fear Factor from 2004. I don't think I'm going to watch the full seasons. We say that now, but maybe I will get into it and I will rewatch it. But I just want to see what I can find for free to watch, whether it's like with a subscription I already have or just on YouTube, and just get an idea of like how this game show in the novel is going to play out. So that way when I start writing it, actually, like it's going to be smooth sailing. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some research. I don't know how long this vlog is going to go. This is probably just going to be a research vlog because that's where we're starting. I don't have any intentions of like when I'm gonna start writing this for sure. It might be tomorrow, it might be 2 months from now, but I want to get all of my research done and out of the way before I start, so that way I can have a cleaner draft of this going forward. So let's get started, guys.
Artlist.io.
So I have been walking on the treadmill and just kind of like watching clips. I've watched the first episode of the challenge just to kind of see like the dynamics there, and I watched a little bit of Fear Factor. I watched a little bit of the Real World, and I've been just like brain dumping. I kind of sort of have like the introduction. So a lot of these shows had like voiceovers to be like Fear Factor was like, imagine a world where your greatest fears were like put to the test or something like that. And so like I kind of have like a little play on that. I decided that I was gonna do kind of like a nod to the TV show hosts of the time, and combine some names and like play around with that as like the host of the show, because it is gonna be kind of like I said, like the real world meets Fear Factor, where they are competing and they're doing challenges, but like they're also in like a house together stuck. And then they're like literally stuck, like the cast and the crew are just like, everybody is like just in this house and they cannot get out and things are going wrong. So yeah, I've just been trying to gather all this information. I have some ideas of like which mixed media elements I want. I have like the time period research, you know, even though I kind of lived in it, I was much younger at the time. So I was like, okay, what would I have been watching? Like what would have been my aspirations to dress like when I was watching these shows, and what's some of the language and stuff like that. So yeah, I also kind of just compiled like which seasons would be around this time frame. So like we're talking 2003 to 2005. So a lot of like Real World Philadelphia, season 5 of Fear Factor, season 5 of Big Brother, that kind of stuff. So it's been going well, but I think I'm gonna stop now, and we'll probably come back at some point later this week and keep researching, and I'll let you know where we're going. Hello friends, hi. So it's been a little bit since I last filmed about my brainstorm, and I just have a small update. That update is that I have continued to try to brainstorm and like research time period stuff, and it has been really fun. I kind of have an idea of like what my games are going to look like, because in reality these games are not going to like happen. There's only going to be like 3 games that they actually get to participate, because like one's going to go off fine, the next there's going to be a mishap. I might have one more mishap, but honestly, like with pacing wise, the 3rd game probably has to result in the death. So because of that, I definitely want to make sure that we are like, I'm not going to spend too much time on like what all the possible games are going to be, but I have like 6 ideas down, and 2 are definitely going to happen, because I can think that like the one will go, it's going to be gross, it's going to be very Fear Factor, it's very inspired by Fear Factor, especially because I believe in Fear Factor they had used cows, like real cow's blood at one point, so I am going to do like a play on that. The second one is going to be the mishap, where like these aren't supposed to be like knives, and then there's like a real knife and people are kind of getting like freaked out, and then the 3rd one is going to be the death. So yeah, basically I am going strong with that. And with my last video I talked about my bitter end challenge. So obviously brainstorming and outlining is my main thing, because I would like to have a first draft done by the next couple months. But I'm really excited because so far with my bitter end challenge, which I am gonna like pin over here probably, there are a couple things that I'm super excited about, like that are happening a lot quicker than I expected, because we are only in like the last 3rd of September, so we didn't even start October yet. And yesterday I got so excited because somebody had shared in one of my groups that there was a horror craft workshop that was happening today, and they were doing a giveaway, so 3 people would get a pass to this workshop. So I entered, because I was like, obviously I'm gonna enter, it's a free chance, and I got picked. I was just so shook. I was like, oh my god, like that's insane. And then Zilla also got picked too, so the 2 of us are going to be in this workshop, which is amazing. And that's today. So it's today. It starts in like 7 minutes. So I'm here at my desk about to get ready, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, if I'm going to stay at the desk the entire time. I do better learning and listening when I'm moving, and therefore I'm likely going to continue cleaning my house. I've been cleaning my house since like 8 a.m. this morning. It's almost 10 now. And at some point I do have to shower because I'm going out later, but I think I can like keep it up on both like my iPad and on my desktop, and then that way like if I have to come back and like type things or whatever, I could absolutely do that. I'm almost done cleaning, to be fair. I'm probably going to be doing this workshop while I'm cleaning up a little bit. I also just wanted to say too that I am almost going to be, I think I'm going to be banging out my reading. So Play Nice and the Handyman Method, I think I'm going to be reading those like immediately. I put in for the ebook on my library for the Handyman Method, and that's a 2-week wait. So I probably will start that within the next 2 weeks. And then I had pre-ordered the audiobook for Play Nice, so I already have that. And I think once I'm done with my book club book, which I'm currently listening to, and I'm halfway done because I've been listening to it while I'm cleaning, I'm going to start Play Nice. So I will likely have those 2 books done before, well, I shouldn't even say before October starts, but before like this challenge really takes off. I also bought 2 new books. So the first one is Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. First of all, this is like a really pretty paperback, but I bought this because it has a mixed media element. And because my book is also going to have mixed media, I thought it would be a really good thing to try to see like what's a recent horror book that has those elements in it. So I'm excited to read this. And I thought this book, Horror Movie, was supposed to come on Tuesday, and my other book was supposed to come today. So far it hasn't showed up, but maybe it still will. I bought Save the Cat Writes Horror. While it's a screenplay writing book, it can really help with hitting the beats. Zilla has read it. I've seen a bunch of people on Instagram hyping it up already. It literally just came out, so I'm so excited for people that like this is already so good. And Zilla just said I'm gonna love it. Like, it's so solid for like plotting the beats. I've been doing like a nonfiction book every single morning, like reading 10 pages or a chapter or whatever. And so I'm gonna use that craft book by like reading a chapter every single day and starting to make my actual outline for my next novel. So in theory, with this Bitter End challenge, I'm gonna have like half of my new book done, the reading challenge done, and my learning done. I'm just super excited because I'm taking the course right now, and then I just wanted to do a webinar or a Q&A. I'm gonna have my workshop webinar done today, and I am still wanting to participate in the literary agency Q&A because I do have a couple questions that I didn't know I was gonna have until I started querying. So yeah, I'm already feeling really good. Oh, and I started my short story submission too. And I mean, I only wrote like 3 lines, but I have an idea for a call to do kind of like a cozy ghost romance, but it's like an asexual romance. So I have the idea there, and so I may, before I start writing my actual novel, I think I'm going to take a palate cleanser break and write that short story and submit it, because I have until November 30th to submit that. But I can start that like this week and bang out a first draft, and like I could probably submit it before October even begins if I wanted to challenge myself. But I have a nice deadline for that. So anyway, it's almost time for the workshop, so I'm gonna stop rambling. But I just want to say that I'm feeling really good about the Bitter End challenge. I feel really good about where I'm going to be going with this novel, and after like a rough week being in the query trenches, I'm just ready to like move forward, and I'm so excited. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna get going. Let's dive into this class.
So let us know also what snack you're on at this point, because we're all in different time zones.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Feel free
to
vote in the poll, but if you want to put in the chat if you're like what you're wanting to eat or what you are eating, if you're like really excited about it, we like to know.
Hi friends. So I am here with an update, and I'm probably going to be wrapping up this brainstorm soon. I know it's been a little bit of a chiller vlog, but I have been doing quite a lot, and I've been super excited about it all. So since my last check-in, I did the horror workshop. I will say it was a great 101 course. So if you are somebody who is looking to add some horror elements into their work, or you've never really done anything with horror, I would definitely recommend it. It's a really great starting place for horror. That said, I didn't learn much newer stuff. Like my college course that I had taken on horror writing back in the day was a lot more in-depth, because that was a whole semester worth of information. But I definitely had a couple things to remember stuff. It's kind of similar to when I did the Reedsy course of how to write a novel. Like, I know the basics of how to write a novel, but there were things that I could remember to bring into my novel in order to make it the best draft I could. And similarly, there are just some things that I listened to that I was like, oh, let me make note of these certain things when I'm writing again. And I think I am gonna re-listen to them, at least the 2. There was a section for writing like middle grade horror, which I think is awesome, but I'm not writing middle grade right now. I actually do enjoy writing middle grade. It's not a genre I read, so I'm not going to be like jumping into that anytime soon. But I wrote a couple of short stories in a middle grade perspective, and I really just loved it. I loved the voice. I just loved the stakes, because they're so much different than writing for adults, but I'm not doing that now. So anyway, the other two, which was like a writing 101 and creating atmosphere, I will probably re-listen to those in the next month or so and take a couple more notes so that I can play around with this in my next novel. But yeah, I'll definitely leave it linked down below in case you guys are interested if they do another one. The company that ran this workshop does a bunch of different writing workshops. This one was just horror focused. So definitely some great things there. I have officially gotten my Save the Cat Writes Horror. I'm so excited. I just read like the introduction and the first chapter, and I think I'm gonna love it. I like that there's homework. I like that I can do actionable things after the end of each chapter. So like I just wrote out what my monster house and sin is, and those are the like core elements you need in order to write a horror story, which I'm like, that was easy. I already know what my stuff is. And it's true to form. Like I do have this like idea much more fleshed out than I thought I did before starting it. But so far I think I'm really gonna like this, and I'm only on chapter 1, but I think it's gonna be well worth it to start outlining. I also have like the briefest of outlines. Like I know what I want to start with my mixed media element as like the prologue, and then I know what first chapter is going to be based on your traditional take of reality TV. So it's like the introduction, right, of the show, but also the book where everyone's going to be coming in and they're meeting each other for the first time, and like that's what's going to happen. And you're going to have like the behind the scenes kind of too, where like you're going to have like what the director and the crew are saying to everybody, and like and things like that. So I'm kind of excited to get into it. I have written a scene that's going to be the first death. I actually feel really good about it. So we were in the horror workshop. We were talking about writing scenes of thick versus thin atmosphere, and all of us were kind of like, what does this even mean? We were really struggling with it, but the basis that we got was thick atmosphere is kind of like slow and gooey writing, slowing down the plot, making the scene and the tension kind of drawn out. So that way, by the time you get to like the horror, it like kind of is like, oh my God, like I didn't even realize like we were getting there. Versus thin is kind of like fast paced. You're getting through the scene. It's a little bit more actiony. The sentences are choppy and short, and you're kind of like, the tension is there from the beginning. Like, you know something, like if you're running kind of, right? Like if you're running away from something, you kind of know that. So I wrote my first death as a thick scene, and so far the people who read it think it's pretty good, and I'm really proud of that scene. So I'm excited that I'm getting pieces throughout this novel. And of course I have all of my brain dumping, and I think I'm good to start now. There's stuff that I can come back to and probably beef up, but I have the gist of where I'm going with this story. I know what my elements are really gonna be. I'm gonna play around with the haunted house, haunted entity type of thing, and I'm just excited for it. I think the only thing I'm gonna do is go through my characters and figure out like who is gonna be like the main couple of people that I'm gonna be focusing on, and who's gonna be like eliminated or killed pretty quickly, like who is disposable, because there's gonna be like 15 characters. This is a show so like I do need to make it more realistic. Like we're gonna have like 10 people, the host, and then the crew. And I was researching that, and I got that there's usually a showrunner, a director of photography, 2 cameramen, and like maybe 2 production assistants, like 6 people plus the host. So we're gonna have like 17 people technically in this household. But like once the deaths start, we're gonna be getting rid of them pretty quickly. Yeah, I just want to flesh out like the ones that are remaining, what their like sins are, like why they're here at this show, and what they're hoping to gain from it. I have a good idea to some degree. I also know I decided on what my main character, the switch is gonna be, because a big thing with the main character was like, she needs to be there for like an undercover reason, but like what's her cover? And I kind of figured that out too, that she is a up and coming blogger of like horror and supernatural things. And so everyone just thinks she's there to try to maybe like jump off, make her blog blossom, and potentially like land a writing career out of it. So yeah, that's where we're at. So this has been a really great brain dump. I have started Play Nice as well. I also am starting the horror movie book, and I'm trying to finish an ebook up right now. I have an arc, and I do need to read that because it comes out in like 3 weeks. So once I finish that arc, I will be jumping into the handyman method. So all of my books, like I'm really like moving along with them, which is great. So I might have one more update after this, but for the most part, I am finishing this up and we are about to start drafting. So I cannot wait to bring you on some new writing vlogs.